Hello and welcome to Campus News 24. We're coming to you live from our news hub at the Ghana Institute of Journalism, Haile Selassie Street. My name is Grace Van Bachman.
And I'm Fawzuma Saadu, coming up in this bulletin.
Now first on our story, students of the Ghana Institute of Journalism call for a decrease in communication tasks.
Also we ask why victims of sex for grace are held back from speaking up.
And also the comprehensive sexuality education, a case of a bone or a vein.
Now leading media conglomerate Apasa Media Network holds its third edition of the Early Bird Workshop. Stay with us for details of all these and more plus on sports.
The Ghana Institute of Journalism is 60 years. Hooray!
Ghana Institute of Journalism.
It's been 60 years of uncompromising education in communication, from a diploma-awarding institute to a fully fledged university that awards its own degrees.
Indeed! Work Bejeke. So, what are the activities lined up to celebrate this great milestone?
There will be a grand debut on Wednesday, the 16th of October, where the University Governing Council, management, staff, students, alumni, stakeholders, chiefs and queen mothers will gather at the institute's new campus at North Jolo to celebrate the phenomenal success stories of the institute. There will also be lots of entertaining activities such as music and dance, as well as exhibition and sale points at the Debra ground, so you can't afford to miss out. At exactly 9 a.m, business begins.
That's not all. On Saturday, the 19th of October, Selewa, there will be a mega dinner and gala night at the Round Pavilion in Trade Fair, where musicians such as Amanziba, Ochiame Kwame, and the National Police Band will treat us to great tunes. You've got to dance your shoes off, cause there'll be more to eat and drink at exactly 6 p.m. sharp. A day there.
Tickets for the dinner and the gala night are on sale at the institute's reception in the SRC office. Follow us on all our social media handles at GIJ Official for further updates. GIJ at 60, celebrating our past is.
Now first on our stories. The introduction of a 9% communication tax since October 1 has since saw citizens and patrons especially registering their displeasure. This includes students of the tertiary education across the country, with Ghana Institute of Journalism being closest to the story. They are calling on the government to reduce the tax because it goes a long way to hindering academic excellence as a result of potential shortcomings in academic activities such as research and other resting on the internet to be made.
To an extent, it's somewhat annoying because I can't buy 5 CDs at a time and then get like 4 CD, 90 something for 5 CDs. It's annoying because I'm a student and I want what I buy, exactly the amount I buy. Because when it came, I was very pissed. I didn't even want to call anybody again because I'm wasting my airtime. But I think with time, we'll get used to it.
I tell you, it's so bad. Because how can I buy a credit to tell me that you've deducted 9% or whatsoever? It doesn't make sense. Already, when you buy a bundle, it doesn't keep long and the bundle gets finished. Then there's also a tax. What are those taxes for? Even if you're even deducting it from my credits and I'm even seeing some change in the country or in the nation, that one I'll bear it because I can see some changes. But since it's not bearing any changes to my community, why should I?
With me, I'm being given 20 cedis for transportation and feeding. So since there's an increment, my money has been reduced, like the one I'm supposed to keep for myself. If at the end of the day, if I'm supposed to save 5 cedis, I'll have to save 2 cedis. And with the credit transfers and other stuff, you buy the airtime, there's nothing. Your data bundle is just not sufficient. You just look at one thing on social media, by the time you realize it has all been exhausted. So it's really not helping us.
That tax is still, you know that almost all matured young people in Ghana right now are using mobile phones, and especially students. And we need these networks for our research work and other things. So if you are telling me that you are going to increase taxes on communication, then I think they are disappointing students, because I have not gone outside the country before. But then, from what I'm hearing from there, they are operating the prepaid thing, and that one the state takes part of the amount of money that goes into communication. So with that, the students are free to explore using the communication networks and then the other things. You will tell me Wi-Fi is there, but yes, you can't use Wi-Fi without a telecommunication network. So with that, for me, I think they should scrap this tax thing. For me personally, I'm not going to buy airtime again.
Assuming you have something to do with the credits, maybe you want to research about something, and all you have is 2 cedis. So maybe you, because of the research you want to do, you want to have enough credits so that you can finish with everything you want to research. But because the 20% is deducted, you can't bundle 2 cedis. You probably bundle like 1 cedi, and it will affect you because you might not finish with what you want to do.
Now, the aftermath of BBC Africa Eye's Sex for Grades expose by journalist Kiki Mordi has resulted in an uproar of affected past or current students expressing experiences with identified lecturers. This has hence begged the question why most victims have kept mute to this audio, even when most tertiary institutions have counseling centers and anti-sexual harassment policy. These are some reactions we gathered from students.
You know, some of these lecturers who engage in such acts have this kind of prestige with them, and so they wouldn't, when you go out to tell somebody that okay, as this type of lecture or this particular lecturer is trying to pressure me into something that I don't want to, people go like, okay, are you being honest? Okay, so people tend to question your honesty, and they do not really pay much attention to the truth that you have to say.
I think it's due to stigmatization and also the fact that some students will feel ashamed to go there. I mean, if I should tell a friend of mine or anyone else that this is what I've been through, the person would see me in a different light.
I think that it is because, you know, these students, some of these students, they are the ones who entrap, you know, the lecturers. They go to the lecturers to offer themselves. That is why when at the end we are calling for sexual harassment complaints, they are not able to come out.
One, they were scared. Secondly, they weren't getting the opportunity to like voice out their pain and everything. I might get an E, but maybe my right grade is A. And then because the lecturer has something for me and I'm refusing, that is how come the lecturer does that. And then there is no way you can go and report to someone without good evidence that a lecturer has done something to you, like has won sex with you or is proposing love to you or something, because the natural terms in school is a lecturer-student relationship. It ends there.
Because first of all, they are scared. They've been threatened so many things, and some people don't want to say it because they feel they'll be disgraced. Someone will say they are bad or something, and the lecturers threaten them, tell them they would fail them and all sorts of things. So it's all parts. And some ladies too, they know if they go and say it, society will judge them badly. Yeah, and they don't like talking about it. And most of them also don't say it because they get what they want.
Now, next on our story, the GIJ chapter of Echoes of Leadership Club on Friday, October 4, organized the 4th edition of its annual League of Young Communicators Summit. The mentorship program, which saw top media practitioners including Omaru Sanda of CTFM, Edem Fair of Joy Prime, and Gary Al Smith of Joy Sports, shared with participants an insight into the realities of the communication industry on the backdrop of their personal experiences. Some speakers and participants spoke to us.
People have this view that journalism doesn't pay. So they say to you, journalism doesn't pay, so don't go inside. And I'm like, all right, what brought you to GIJ? Did you come to GIJ just because a lot of universities failed you, so you thought that you should come to GIJ? No. You came to GIJ for a purpose, and if you came for a purpose, you have to make sure that purpose is achieved. I came to journalism school to become a journalist, so my point is that at all costs, do your work well, and your work will pay. If they tell you that journalism doesn't pay, it's the same with every other institution. If you work in a concrete manufacturing company and you do not produce to expectation, you will not be paid that much.
It was a great pleasure to be here, coming back home, as it were, because I learned a lot. However, in addition to my classroom education, I prioritized, because I was advised to, networking on campus. And I think that it's a game changer for many people. In addition to the classroom work, for a place like GIJ where people from all walks of life come and attend here, your trump card going into the real world will be to network. Of course, by all means, study. I don't think that any lecturer will be happy watching me if I say that don't study, you know. But make it a point to study things that are related to the course. So, in addition to the classroom work, make sure that you are current on the news, because this is, after all, a communications institution. Make sure you are abreast of or what is happening in the news cycle. If it's sports, entertainment, politics, whatever you do, still keep your eyes on the ball for all the other subject areas, because the wide world out there is made up of all the information sources.
The rationale behind it is that we realized a shortfall, okay, and a challenge as well in the media space. Okay, breaking through, making content and even finding jobs in the media space now is very difficult compared to the days of old. Previously, as a graduate, before even graduates, the media players are after you for employment. But now, even with your certificate, it's very, very, very difficult. So how do we address some of these challenges as students? So we came about with this concept that, the best teacher is experience. So why don't we bring on board, the experienced ones out there? Ask them how are they able, to break through in the media space. How are they able to find space for themselves? How are they able to do all these things? So that hence the League of Young Communicators Summit.
They encourage us to be passionate about our job, even though the job doesn't pay as much as we expected. But we must be passionate and look forward to a great future. You must know your worth before you can become a good communicator. And in becoming a good communicator, you choose GIJ, which is one of the best communication institutes in West Africa and Africa as a continent.
I learned in the communication industry, women are cheap there, but I learned it wasn't so. So all what we need is we have to be disciplined, so that when we enter into an office and then someone asks for maybe sex, you say no.
They all taught us how to focus on our vision, because if you want to be a particular employee, you need to focus on that vision particularly and put more effort in it, because you want it and you want to be, so you need to focus on it.
Still on issues surrounding sex, the outgrowth of the comprehensive sexuality education has sent many tongues wagging, with a lot more still struggling to comprehend what it entails in entirety. The proposed reform has spelled out as one designed to equip students from the basic to the tertiary levels of education how to explore and nurture their sexuality and reproductive health. Some students of the Ghana Institute of Journalism shared their thoughts with regards.
Well, in my opinion, I don't think it's really beneficial, because at that age, from kindergarten, I don't think it's the right thing that they need to be exposed to at that tender age. Even adults at their regular age, some even feel shy to talk about things like this. Or even married people, some are not even comfortable talking about things like this. So exposing that to children at a very young age, I don't think it's really that important. So maybe if they were to introduce it at maybe primary 6 upwards, I think that one would be okay, but kindergarten, I don't think it's alright. So maybe you need to move it upwards a bit or something.
Well, I think it's beneficial to them, because as at now, some know a little, they learn it from social media and other stuff. So I think if they really make it like a real deal and teach all of them, it will be very beneficial, because some are learning it secretively and doing things that they are not supposed to do. So if they know it and they know the precautions to take, I think it's very good.
Looking at some of the videos that have gone viral, if they are going to teach it through that way, it is not going to be the best. And the curiosity, the curious part of these kids would bring so many things. Without the inception of this CSC, kids are practicing mommy and papa. So then you can imagine they being taught in class. Teach and a chair, so it's good. But then the advantageous part of the thing is, if they are taught, some of them who are ignorant about all these things will get to know something about it, and that will help shield themselves from some things that would jeopardize their future.
No problem, but then they should also put in measures that will make sure that
our cultural practice, our heritage as Ghanaians is also being maintained. You understand? Because we can't throw away, because this is a foreign practice. This is something that is outside. It is not known to us. Our forefathers didn't leave that to us as a cultural practice that we should go on. So if we are maintaining our heritage, then it means this is something that we are forcing ourselves into. You understand? Because it's not in us as Ghanaians especially. So if they want to bring it in the system, the law does not frown upon it. The constitution does not frown upon somebody being a male or a female, gay or a lesbian. Do you understand? The constitution always protects our rights. You understand? Our human, fundamental human rights. So it's cool. But then also they should put in measures that will make sure that at the end, our cultural heritage, we don't lose our identity as Ghanaians. Do you understand? So if they can do that, then there's no problem.
Now, the Akasa Media Network, a student-focused media organization at the Ghana Institute of Journalism on Friday, October 4, held its third edition of its annual Early Bird Workshop at the Institute's premises. The workshop, which seeks to train students in areas of blogging, research and television production, saw an appreciable participation of students in all levels.
Okay, so the Early Bird Workshop has been running for 3 years now. We started in 2017, and it was because I felt that students needed an extra practical training in how to publish their content online, new media especially. We didn't have much of the practical training. Students were very much complaining about they were not having access to the internet on campus. It was bad, and they didn't even know how to create their own blogs that the teachers were requesting from them. So I came up with the Early Bird Workshop to help students, especially to create blogs and also to do advanced research, and then with TV and radio presentation. So these are the three main things we teach: blogging, research, and TV and radio presentation. And I think it has helped students, and I believe that at the end of the training, students are able to create their own blogs, their own websites, and I got very much motivated to continue after the first one, because a popular student now we know as Abba Radical started from our very first training. Then we had Kabunate also, who also started from our training, and I think it has been the motivation to continue. At least if one student out of 200 students is able to master the art of publishing content online, then I am satisfied as a trainer. And in the world of showbiz, reigning Hall of the Year at the Ghana Institute of Journalism, the Mandela Hall, has organized its maiden edition of the Fashion and Music Night, dubbed the Ubuntu Night. The event's purpose that unveiling new artists and models from the Institute exhibited talent in music, dance, modeling, comedy, and public speaking. Master of ceremony for the event and an alumnus, Nana Ofori Appeal, had a thing to share.
Alright, so I've got the former SRC organizing secretary joining me to have a conversation after the show. Your name, please?
My name is Kwabna Ferry.
And you hosted the show. How has it been?
It's been an amazing night. Anytime we come on, we make sure we try and give the people what they want and try and make the place lit. It was an initiative that is laudable, I should say. So I'm great. The people had fun. That's the most important thing.
Alright, so did you have fun yourself?
Oh, it was an amazing time for me.
What was the most entertaining part of the show for you?
Okay, the dance section. I don't know how to dance, but anytime I get the chance to dance, I try to bust some moves, and it's always an amazing time having fun with the people.
Alright, so quick tip. What is that one key for being a successful host of a program like this?
Okay, definitely is. I think it's the connection with your audience. So that's the most important thing. If you don't create that connection with them, it's going to be very difficult to have a successful event. So know your audience, let them know you connect with them, and then the show would go.
Alright, thank you so much for joining me.
Shiaponimu etichu Mandela kuimu etichu Eni obi biara a wehyem wa ha nyina mama hon atena so wajima henwa Yenitida. Wagana. Japonim.
They make I wonder why you love me so. We're not a creation.
Oh, bad one. Hey. Hey. What's up? What's up?
We're not a creation.
Go over for. Fanboy over for. Fanboy designer. Fanboy designer.
I must confess, your designs are very nice.
Big K.
DJ, I like the fabrics.
It was amazing, it was fun, exciting, entertaining, like I had fun.
Alright, so I've got the organizing secretary of the GIJSRC with me, also a member of the Mandela Hall, right?
Yeah, I'm a proud member of the Mandela Hall and former organizing secretary.
Alright, so how has the night been for you?
So I think it's one of the best nights we've ever, in terms of inter-halls competition, this is one of the best events we've ever seen so far. We keep on telling people that Mandela is one of the best halls. People don't believe. When it comes to events, everything, that's why I wear the hall of the year.
Alright, so I've got the first runner-up for the 2019 Miss Akwaba joining me. Your name, please?
I'm Ejapon Ishira Christabel.
Ejapon, how has the night been for you?
It's been glamorous. I had lots of fun. I enjoyed myself very, very well.
So finally, I've got the president for the Mandela Hall joining me to have a conversation. Your name, please?
My name is Michael Ofurieboa.
So how has the night been for you?
Oh, by God's grace, everything has been so fantastic.
Was it up to expectations of management?
It's not 100% yes, but looking at how things went, I think it's the best so far. So I thank God for such a wonderful and successful outcome.
So what do we have on sports class?
A deluge of stories around sports. Key amongst them is the upcoming GIJSRC annual Sports Week celebration. So we know that on Tuesday, 15 August, is the official launch. And then the launch will happen at the forecourt at exactly 9 a.m. Also alongside the launch will be indoor games. So there's going to be Obare, Ludo, Apple in the water and what have you. Which is your favorite?
I think Obare. It's quite...
You want to go traditional,
yes,
isn't it?
I do. I love.
Also on Wednesday, there won't be any activity because of the Grand Deba to mark the GIJ's 60th anniversary celebration. So we rest on Wednesday, but we make it to the new site at Okmonglu to join in the Grand Deba. And then on Thursday, we have the outdoor game, the big deal. We move straight to the Albert Sports Stadium to inter-hall outdoor game competition. So we're having football tournaments, basketball aside, volleyball, handball, and what have you. Also, we come to Friday. Friday is the qualifier, so the teams that qualified on Thursday will move into Friday to battle for the Grand Trophy. And also on Friday, we'll be having what we call the All-Stars versus students and alumni versus students. And I'm told we'll be having lecturers going face-to-face with students as well. Which lecturer are you anticipating?
I'm rooting for Apil. Our lecturer who teaches in creative writing. He's quite good. So either Mr. Apil or Joe.
Okay, I'm actually looking forward to seeing Dr. Brobe.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay.
Dr. Brobe on the page. Great. So that's all we have in the world of sports.
Alright. Now, before we take leave of you, let's take a recap of our headlines.
In this bulletin, we'll be telling you why victims of sex for grades are unable to speak up.
And also, we brought to you that the students of the Ghana Institute of Journalism are calling for a decrease in the communication tax.
We also asked the question, the comprehensive sexuality education, is it a boom or a bane?
And lastly, Akasa Media Network has held its third edition of Early Bird Workshop here on campus.
And that's it for Campus News 24. My name is Fauzu Masaudu.
And I am Grace Malva.
Have a nice day.
Do enjoy the rest of our programs.